The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions expressed by the guests do not reflect those of the hosts, the show, the management, or the network.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Montesa Medical Group Aesthetic Center, Advanced Dermatology, Age Management, and Plastic Surgery. Timeless beauty, safe, and worry-free. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Bloomer Babe Podcast. This is your host, Katie. Welcome to the podcast about my life, current news, lifestyle, millennial struggles, and anything under the sun. So if that sounds like your jam, please stick around. So, how are you guys? It's been 2 weeks since my last upload. I'm sorry about that. Medyo weird yung angle ng video ko ngayon kasi nandyan siya. Separate siya sa laptop ko. So, I might not be looking at the camera all the time. So, but we'll figure out next episode kung paano ko siya mailalagay with the same angle as the screen that I have right now. Anyway, so, kamusta kayo, babes? It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks. I was in a vacation also. Yung editor ko nasa vacation din. So, hindi kami nakapag-upload for 2 weeks. But, babawi kami sa inyo this coming weeks. Anyway, so, for today's episode, I have a guest with me. I just wanted you to share one of the co-working spaces that I've seen online. Ever since kasi I started working from home and doing the freelance work, I've been on the lookout for a good co-working space around the metro. BGC, Makati, there was even in Alabang area. But I am looking specifically for a fast Wi-Fi, tahimik na lugar, and somewhere that, actually feels good to work in and see myself, focused and productive. So lately, I came across a space that really caught my attention. It's called Colab Café in Kapitolyo, Pasig. I personally haven't been there yet, but I got so curious that I reached out to the owner herself and invited her to share the story behind the space. So, in this episode, we're going to hear how it all started, what makes Colab Cafe different from other co-working spaces, and why it just might be your new favorite place to work. So, let's dive in. Hello, Koko. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you for saying yes. And before we dive into everything about Colab Cafe, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us a bit about what you do?
So hi, I'm Koko. So I'm one of the co-founders of Colab Cafe. So we're located here in Kapitolyo, Pasig. I'm actually excited and thank you for inviting me here to guest in your podcast. Yeah. So sana masagot ko yung for today.
Chill lang to. Chill lang to, Coco. Okay. For a little icebreaker, just to warm things up a bit. If Colab Cafe were a person, how would you describe its personality? So, pwedeng, it might be the artsy cool girl ba siya? Super organized, girly, or, maybe a creative type?
Yeah, I think siguro si Colab yung masasabi kong like the perfect like person to embody yung modern Filipino professionals ngayon. So, I think yun yung isa sa makikita kong makakapag-describe sa kanya perfectly. So, si Colab kasi is basically, hindi na siya yung mga usual 8 to 5 workers, no? Mm-hmm. Na nasanay tayo, no? Na parang 8 to 5, nasa office lang, ganyan. So, this is very, siya yung tipong she can work or he can work whenever na meron siyang inspiration or inspired siya mag-work, no? Kung meron siyang motivation, and then it can last pwedeng early in the morning, pwedeng up to late at night kung kailan magkakaroon siya ng new ideas, no? It's very parang more of innovative yung approach pagdating sa ano. So, yeah, I think ganung klaseng kung magiging person si Con. I think ganung klase siyang tao.
Personality. Is it near your personality po ba? Parehas kayo or?
I think somehow yes. Siguro ano lang, parang a little trivia kasi I'm one of the owners of Colab Cafe, but actually marami kami dito. So iba't iba. So we're actually all girls who owns the
Okay.
cafe. Yon. Tapos all girls kami, and then iba-iba rin yung personality namin. And we came from different industries. So yun. So kaya talagang yung collab, ito yung perfect spot na siguro yung nung time na kami yung naghahanap ng cafe, ito yung parang hinahanap namin. So nag-isip kami ng way to basically gawin, kumbaga mabuo yung isang place na perfect para sa amin. Lalo na nagsa-struggle kami, I used to be a freelancer, ganyan. Tapos one of us naman used to be a business startup owner. So, yung mga ganyan. Yeah.
Ilan po kayong owners ng Colab Cafe?
Ngayon, 3 kami.
3
Tapos,
women. Okay.
3 yung owners, pero we're actually parang kung isipin mo, hindi exactly owner, pero a lot of our friends also help us to build this cafe. Yun, kaya even yung cups namin has illustrations of us. Yun.
Kayo po pala yun. Yung nasa
Oo.
cups. Okay. Okay.
Here at Montesa, medical group, we've got innovative approaches for your physical look. Montesa medical group, results are mental, safe, effective, and worry-free. Enjoy your quiet luxury, a timeless beauty. Here at Montesa.
So yeah, my listeners and I are curious to know the story behind Colab. So first question, when did Colab Cafe officially opened its doors, and what inspired the name Colab?
So, we actually opened just last May. So, yung grand opening namin. We had a soft opening last March, and then we tried muna to do, parang alam mo yun, trial and error here and there. And when we finally had the confidence na talaga na, okay, gusto na namin talagang i-open to. So, last May, we had the opening. What inspired us? So, yun nga, na-mention ko kanina, we came from different industries. One of the co-founders also, and I, used to work for different foreign brands din, mga international brands. And then, naisip namin, parang maganda din yung magkaroon ng parang brand of our own. Can start here. It's local, no? Hindi na kami mag-work for international brand. Although, of course, the name itself, no, it's Colab. So, we're always open to having partnerships and opportunities working with different businesses, different people, different brands, yun. So, marami kaming mga ganyan dito. So, I think yun yung isa sa mga naging motivation namin or inspiration namin when we started. And then, na-mention ko kanina, we were the people who actually went to coffee shops and we had to work there. Yun. Kumbaga, may meetings kami, in between meetings, we had to sit somewhere and we had to work. So, naghahanap kami, parang we are always on the lookout of a perfect space wherein we can actually do the task that we have to do in between meetings, mga ganon, and meeting people. So, yun yung parang nakapag sa amin na, teka, parang lahat ng puntahan namin parang laging merong something. Either masyadong maingay, masyadong madaming tao,
Mabagal yung net, walang upuan.
mabagal
Oh, yeah.
internet, masyadong
Yeah, I totally understand. So when you were looking for these cafes, ano yung mga siguro top 3 na hinahanap nyo sa isang co-working space or cafes before?
I think number 1 would be yung peace. Siguro yun. Okay, I think kasi cafe can be different things, di ba? It can be a place where you meet your friends, where you, alam mo yun, relax after work, mga ganyan. So, syempre, maraming factors na you'll have a lot of conversations, ganyan. But then, pag ikaw pupunta ka sa cafe and then you have to work, or sometimes magzo-zoom ka, wala kang privacy or wala kang opportunity to have that kind of quiet. So that's one. Another is, I think, enough space. So usually kasi with cafes, mapapansin natin, 'di ba, parang dikit-dikit yung upuan natin, no? So marami kang magiging friends kasi halos katabi ka, elbow to elbow mo yung next no table. So ganon. So minsan kapag you need space for you to do your own thing, wala kang space. Or sometimes naman gusto mo makipag-meeting but the seats are not enough. So yun din. So I think yun, meron ding mga ganong factor. And of course, internet, outlets, pag mag-charge laptops, yun. So I think most of those things, you would see it in spaces like co-working spaces or business lounge. But then, hindi naman, I mean, in the co-working space, kasi, diba, you have to rent the seat or you have to have parang on a per hour basis. Pero, di ba, pag nag-ano ka, you would rather have a space na the ambiance is more of a cafe. Parang mas ganado kang mag-work. So yun. So I think yun yung siguro masasabi kong top 3 things that we saw lacking when these mga naging challenges namin when we were the ones who's looking for that space.
Okay, same thing, yes. I totally understand.
Yun.
I'm looking for the same things. Basta mabilis yung wifi, tahimik. Minsan kahit hindi na tahimik, basta naka-headset na ako, pwede na. Pag basta lang may seats, okay na ako. At may outlet. Number 1, may outlet. Anyway, for Colab, just to confirm, Colab, this is short for collaboration. Is it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. How about for the location? What made you choose Pasig, specifically Kapitolyo, as the location for the space?
So, when we were looking for the space, so I think it took us a couple of months, really, searching for the right space. Syempre, number 1 na dyan, unang iisipin mo, would we want to be in BGC? And usually, ang mga cafe nandun talaga. But then, we were thinking, marami na masyadong cafe in BGC, and usually, these are where the corporate offices are. So, sometimes, they wouldn't really need this kind of space kapag nasa office naman din talaga sila. So, when we went to Kapitolyo, so in Kapitolyo kasi it's really a mix of, there's really a community in Kapitolyo, which is medyo untapped pa talaga. So, you have a lot of cafes here, but it's smaller cafes. And not enough space pa talaga. But there are a lot of modern professionals here who's remotely working. So, marami ring mga residentials here who wants to work, although they're work from home, but nandito na kasi tayo sa time siguro in our life, especially after pandemic, although we want work from home, but we really don't want to work at home.
Yes.
Diba? Specifically. Parang ganon. So, gusto mo pa rin lumabas, gusto mo pa rin makakita ng, alam mo yun, outside world, even if you're working. So, kaya naisip namin, I think Kapitolyo would be a good spot for this kind of space. And then, when we came here, napaka-specific din nung hinahanap namin. We didn't, unlike other cafes kasi diba usually with cafes, gusto mo ground floor, diba? Sa amin, we were looking for something medyo kita siya, pero medyo may konting exclusivity. Kasi we were thinking, when you're working, you don't really want the distraction na nakikita mo yung traffic sa labas, diba? Or may mga maraming naglalakad, yung gano'n. So, mas distracted ka dun sa work mo. So, that's why we chose a second level spot. Para ang view mo, kasi here in our location, ang view mo is actually trees. So, parang, alam mo yun, parang medyo nagkakaroon ka ng sanctuary in the middle of the
city.
Kapitolyo area.
Yeah. Yeah, oo nga no, kapag ground floor kasi marami kang makikita people walking outside, pwedeng ma-distract. Kaya that's good. Okay, understand. I saw some photos of the space online on your website. It looks so modern, vibrant, and well thought of. What made you choose orange as one of the main colors, and is there a story behind the color scheme or yung design po ng co-working space?
So I mentioned we came from different backgrounds. So one of the things kasi we're also into architectural finishes. So that's one. We also so when we were looking for siguro the look that we wanted for Colab, we wanted to be somehow medyo modern na. But at the same time, we wanted to have yung medyo work vibe, parang ganon. But not exactly yung parang medyo standard, parang office setting. Ganyan. So then, we were designing. So we were in the middle of the design, ganyan. We wanted something na the vibe should be parang spacious, airy, no? Yun yung gusto naming feeling that should come out from the So, when we were choosing colors, somehow there were a lot of different proposals given to us. Yun. Pero somehow when we saw orange, alam mo yung kasi we had woods here, 'di ba? Yung usual typical, 'di ba? Ganun ang setup ng mga cafe, may woods, may but then yung iba naman, mga blacks, di ba? Usually, yun yung makikita mo. Very industrial looking. So, when we saw, lagyan natin ng pop of orange para medyo magkaroon ng life.
Yeah.
But not to the point na parang masyado namang strong yung pagkalagay ng orange to the point na distracting na siya. So, that's how it came about. Yun. And coincidence na rin. It's one of the favorite colors of one of the partners.
Oh, okay.
One of the people who suggested, maganda yung orange, ganyan.
Yeah, it looks lively, vibrant. Yeah. I also noticed some picture na yung curved ceilings. I don't know if it was part of the reception area. It looks cool. Was that an intentional design from the beginning, or is there an inspiration or pegs that you had before about that?
So, from the name Colab, so it's really a collaboration. So we work with the Chinese interior designer here. So with the Chinese interior designer, his principle is actually always working with water or the element water. So nung dito sa Colab, when he was designing this, we mentioned gusto namin something, breathable, parang gano'n, no? Not to, parang nakakakulong na feeling, should be open. And then, siya nga, masyado naman siya he loves the element of water as something free-flowing.
Yeah.
So that's why kung mapapansin mo with our ceiling, so dire-diretso yun, no? The curved lines. Tapos pumapasok siya sa mga walls, So it's actually like it's more of like in a way describing yung imagination natin or yung creativity natin. It should be free flowing and not restricted. So yun yung parang idea niya with the design. And with the material naman of the ceiling. So I mentioned we are also in the business of selling or supplying stainless steel. So the ceiling is actually stainless steel.
Oh,
Yeah.
yung okay.
Yeah.
Para
So
matrabaho ngayon with Koko. Okay.
so para siyang showroom din namin of what we can do with the products that we have. Parang ganun.
Okay. Curious lang ako, Koko. How long did it take or how long did it took to finish yung construction nung co-working space?
Actually, this concept started last year pa.
Mm.
So it was really a long time, a few months of conceptualizing it, working with designers, and then we started the construction October, and then nakapag soft opening kami March na. So ganun katagal yung
Okay.
so, na siguro nandun na rin yung may pagka-OC kami. So we're very detailed. So
For sure, kasi you're from
yeah.
architecture and design, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like, hindi pa pwede ulitin natin, mga ganyan. Hindi pa perfect yung curve. And so, medyo ma-OC. So, it took a while. But yeah, in the end.
Yeah, ang ganda na kinalabasan. I also read from your website that you have a material library in Colab Cafe, which is cool. I'm not really familiar with that because I'm not from the same industry as you, but what kind of samples or swatches do you have in there, and who usually use them or look for them?
So usually, I think the most people who would be able to appreciate it would be architects and interior designers. Yan. But generally, it's really for the creatives. So, like the ones we have, the samples that we have here, the swatches, iba't ibang materials siya, from steel to stones to carpets to laminates to fabrics. So iba-iba siyang textures, iba-iba siyang materials. Some of the people who comes here, they use it for their product shoots. So ginagawa nilang pang layout nila, pang mga flat lays nila, pang mga accents. The architects and interior designers naman, what they do with it is that when they use it for their material board, kapag nagpe-present sila sa client nila, so they also use that. Yan. Tapos yun, some of the creatives naman, even the graphic designers, the multimedia artists, so natutuwa sila dun because they were able to touch it and replicate that kind of look and feeling into their work.
Digital. Okay.
Parang, kasi you need to see the actual and then, di ba, bago sa digital, parang maging realistic siya. So
Yes.
you get to have that kind of inspiration coming from the material library.
Do you also sell the materials that you have in the material library?
Some of the items we do actually sell it. But for the materials that are already in the library, actually that's free for use for anyone who goes inside Colab. So we just let them use it. We even have like books and magazines that they can browse through. So everything is basically free for use para while to make their stay here worthwhile, parang ganon.
Okay, that's so cool. So, would you say that Colab is a mix of a coffee shop, a co-working space, and a creative hub for people in architecture and design?
I think
Okay.
siguro masasabi ko na it's really quite a different concept. So yun nga.
Unique,
A lot of
that's
people
unique.
a lot of people would come here and then they were thinking it's a co-working space. So they would ask like how much is the per hour, ganyan. And then we said, no, just support the bar, buy any drink that we offer, and then you can stay here as long as you want. Ikaw bahala, parang ganon.
Okay.
So, we're more of I think what we can call ourselves would be more of a creative lounge. So, whatever they want to do, if they're having a business meeting, maybe creating a business concept, at one area, at one corner, and then the other group would be doing their material boards, planning for any architectural related things. So nasa naman, it's more of a creative lounge rather than a co-working space. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds more appropriate. Creative lounge. Yeah. Pero
Yeah.
that's a unique combination. I haven't heard or seen any here in Metro na may ganyang combination of space. Now let's talk more about the space itself. How big is the Colab Cafe and how many people can the space accommodate?
So the entire lounge space is actually roughly about 200 square meters. So it's quite spacious. Although we only allow up to 50 people, when we have events, up to 40 lang. So we really want to maintain yung parang spacious feeling. So even when we do have events, we really limit the people coming in para lang hindi mukhang crowded or hindi masikip yung space. Yeah, so yeah, but during on a regular day, we can fit up to 50 people inside, and it's very spacious, very airy.
What types of workspaces do you offer? Do you have private rooms? May mga shared desk po ba? Meeting rooms?
So we have a meeting room, so that can fit about 8 people. So up to 8 people. That one, actually, it's a collapsible meeting room. So we call it collapsible meeting room. Kasi whenever someone wants it for exclusive use, we can actually close it. Pero kapag wala namang nagmi-meeting doon or wala namang gusto ng exclusivity, they can just, basically anyone can stay there as part of the lounge. No? And then we have our tables here, all round tables. So we have the bigger round tables. So we call it the collaboration tables. So we practice here sharing tables and sharing seats. So sabi nga namin, I mean, you wouldn't know that maybe the next person would be your next business partner. Diba? You'll never know. So we really encourage our guests here to share tables and share seats. Yeah, so always circular. We really thought that out kasi naisip namin with circular, you have equal opportunities to have, alam mo yun, to have a voice whenever you have meetings, ganyan. So yun. And then we have also, I think one of the things that's unique here is the quiet booth. So it's basically like a meeting pod. So it can fit usually one, but it can fit up to 2 people. So yun naman, we recommend it for those people who's gonna take Zoom calls, mga ganyan, no? Or they just want a personal space, not to be distracted by anyone. So it's a semi-private space, no, that they can really work in, and it has a dedicated reading light with it, outlet, yan, kanyang sayo yung outlet. Yan. So you can rent out that booth.
A booth called booth. Okay.
Quiet booth.
Okay. How about for bookings naman po? Do you accept walk-ins or is it mostly booked online first or is it only for members?
So actually, we do accept walk-in. So anyone can come here as long as there's space. Yeah, you can come. Unless that you want some sort of exclusivity. So I've mentioned the quiet booths. We rent it out for 1,000 pesos. Consumable. That's already for 4 hours. So if you need to take video calls or video meetings, you can actually utilize that, and then it comes with food and drinks na kasi it's consumable. And then we have the meeting room, so that can fit about up to 8 people. So we rent it out if you want it to be closed down for exclusive use. So we can rent it out for 3,500 for 3 hours already, and it comes with unlimited brewed coffee na.
Okay, and for how many people po?
8 people.
8 packs.
Yeah,
Okay.
for up to 8 people. And then the entire lounge actually, so far, even though we just started last May,
Mm-hmm.
we already have different bookings here in Colab. So they use it for like seminars, talks, workshops. So they book the entire space because we rent this out for like 45,000. That includes one round of food and drinks na for the
Nice.
for
Okay.
up to 40 people. So yun, so they kind of like the siguro the unique setup.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi when like we had a collaboration with Leading Ladies, so that's a business association. So they had a photography workshop here. So parang since the space is very versatile, so
Mm-hmm.
they were able to have like a corner for the shoot, corner
Mm-hmm.
for the portraits, for the portrait shoot, for the product shoot, ganyan. So and then they have spaces for the actual talk. Yeah. So yun, iba-iba din. We even had media launch here.
Mm-hmm.
So, so ano rin. We ano naman, we try to adapt to how we call them collaborators, our partners wants to have it.
If meron pong event, do you close only a part of the space, or is the whole space na occupied for the seminar, let's say the event?
So usually we close the entire space. Yan kasi we really want to focus basically if there's someone who rents out the space, we really want our team to focus on what they need for the day.
Okay.
Para at least hindi rin sila distracted with the other
Yeah,
with the
may,
other guests.
and privacy then, yes.
Yes.
I also saw on your website that you offer membership. Can you tell us more about it? What type of memberships do you have?
So we have actually memberships here, but the membership is more like a loyalty membership card. So it's more for like we have one which we call the gold member. So if you are a frequent collaborator here, so you're a frequent guest. So when you gain points, basically you earn I think 100 pesos, 1 point, parang ganon. Up to 50 points. So once you earn 50 points, you get a gold membership, and that actually gives you 20% discount to your drinks. Yeah. So parang ano lang, discount din para to reward our loyal customers. And then we have another one which is the black membership. So the black membership naman are given to the guests naman or clients who book the space, and also the clients of our sister companies. Yeah. So, yun naman, it can give up to 30% off on the drinks itself. Yun.
Malaki yung 30% na, yeah.
Yes.
And how can we sign up for the membership, or
So, yun lang. For the black membership, if you book, basically you're a frequent cost or client here in Colab, when you book the spaces, you do your meetings here, ganyan, or you do your workshops here. So you get to have parang a certain value to reach, and then we will give you the black membership.
Okay, so black membership, remember 30%, and for gold we have 20%. Okay. I wanted to know a little about the cafe. For those planning to visit Colab Cafe, is there a coffee or a menu item you'd personally recommend our listeners to try?
So with Colab, I mentioned earlier, so we work with different mga F&B rin. But one of the things that we really want to instill in Colab is that aside from doing or creating like different or unique menu. We also want to support also what we have here in the Philippines, so local products. So we're using Sagada beans for our espresso-based coffee, and then we use Barako for our brewed coffee. So if I want to recommend something, I think our signature drink, which is the Colab Yema Latte. So I think Filipinos naman in general are a bit sweet tooth. So medyo sweet kasi siya. So it's Yema. So and we also top it with roasted pinipig for that medyo roasted aroma on top. Yun.
Pinipig pala siya. I thought it was cereals, but it looks good. It really looks good.
So may roasted pinipig siya on top. So we place it there para medyo may konting roasted aroma yung coffee. And then the yema kasi it also balances the sweetness of the yema. Yan. So yeah. If you're in the area, if you're in Kapitolyo, I think that's one of the things that I would be recommending
to try. Okay, I will definitely try it pag nagpunta ako ng Colab. Yeah, so we're almost at the end of the show, but before we wrap up, I just have a couple more of questions so that our listeners will know where we can reach you or book the space. So can you tell us where exactly is Colab Cafe located? Ano yung opening hours and any guidelines for booking a space and parking space if you have available for the guests?
Yeah, so we're actually Colab Cafe is located here in the second floor of the Vantage at Kapitolyo in West Capitol Drive. So it's very accessible. We do have parking here at the building. So it's in the basement 1. So it's it basically we do validate parkings also when we have I think minimum of 300 purchase, we can validate it, and it's free parking for the first 3 hours. So I think that's very customer friendly.
Yes.
Yes, that's very customer friendly already. In terms of the how they would be able to reach us, so we are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, so they can just search for Colab Cafe PH. So they can just DM us whenever, and we usually respond there within usually very quickly naman. So most of our communication is through socials. So yeah. So
how about the opening hours?
The opening hours, so from Mondays to Fridays, we're open at 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 p.m. And then on Saturdays, it's 8 o'clock to 9 p.m. And during Sundays and holidays, we're closed. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
para may pahinga naman.
Medyo kakaibang coffee shop. Sarado kami pag holiday.
Pag holiday, oo nga naman. Anyway, okay. So, for last question, last talaga to, Coco, what's your personal favorite spot in this space? Alam mo yun, para alam namin kung saan ka pupuntahan. Joke.
I think my favorite spot ko kasi yung mga round tables or yung meeting room area. So the meeting room area kasi is on the corner side. So kapag naka-open yung meeting room, you would see basically the entire Colab space. Yan. So I think that's one of my favorite spot kasi I can see the outside. Yun. I can see the trees. Yan. So when I'm working, may kita mo yung parang natural light but not so, alam mo yun, tapos nakikita ko rin yung entire space. It gives you that that feeling of, siguro as part of the owners, it gives you that sense of accomplishment that we're able to build this space. Yeah.
Okay, that's all of my question. Thank you so much, Coco, for joining us and sharing the story behind Colab. It's always inspiring to hear about spaces that are thoughtfully designed, not just for work, but for creativity, connection, and community. Do you have any other things you want to share to our listeners before we end this episode?
Siguro na lang. So, na-mention mo kanina, what I recommend. So there's another favorite that we have, although it's more of a our special or customized drink na. So we usually take the Colab Yamalete with the oat milk add-on. So it
Okay.
makes it sweeter kasi sweet tooth ako. So
Super.
if people are more inclined to parang ako, yung medyo gusto yung matamis talaga.
And I bet it's super creamy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Thank you again, Coco. And that's a wrap for today's episode. To our listeners, if you're looking for a new spot to work, create, or just enjoy a good cup of coffee, make sure to check out Colab Cafe in Kapitolyo, Pasig. Whether you are a freelancer, designer, architect, or just someone looking for a fresh vibe, this might just be your new favorite place. You can follow Colab Cafe on their social media pages. They have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to stay updated on events, promos, and more. You can also visit their website to learn more about the business or just for booking of space. That is collabph.com. We'll have their links in the episode description, so don't forget to check them out. Thanks for tuning in, babes. See you on my next episode, and remember to stay fab and fearless. Buyers! Special thanks to Montesa Medical Group, Aesthetic Center, Advanced Dermatology, Age Management, and Plastic Surgery. Timeless beauty, safe, and worry-free.